Good morning, children. Sairam. Now we are going to start up with a new chapter in first flight. So, before starting with the first flight, I would like to introduce myself. I am Vani Bhatkoti and I'll be taking your English subject for this session. I repeat, I am Vani Bhatkoti and I'll be taking this upcoming session of 2020-2021 for standard 10th, and I'll be teaching you English for the upcoming session. I hope you will like the way I teach and hope you understand things on a wider platform. So children, let's continue with the studies. Morning children, Sairam. Hope you all are very well and fine and keeping up the good spirits. So before moving ahead, I'll just enclose you that what we are going to study today. We'll be going ahead with first flight, English literature, and the new chapter in first flight. So, children, before moving ahead with anything, with any introduction, that I want to be totally sealed, and you have to unseal that what is the topic for today. Children, how many of you have visited different parts of India or lived in different parts of India? Or how many of you enjoy different cultures as well as the different aspects of the people which they are apt to? Can you actually judge it? Okay, one small prompt question for you. That is, how many of you cherish the bakery items? I repeat, how many of you cherish the bakery items? Now, see, when it comes to bakery or the confectionery items, it's all a yum for everyone, isn't it? All of us like the bakery items, whether it persists to the biscuits, or you can say yummy East dough breads, or the dumplings, and of course, why not different kinds of different kinds as well as variety of breads, isn't it? So, do you know who used to bake these breads and how did this culture of baking come to India? So, yes, today we are going to discuss something about the baking and the bread. Isn't it interesting? Let's just have a glance that which story and which person brought this culture into the notice of the readers. Exactly who brought, where did this culture of baking come into our country, and how did bread enter India? Let's have a look on it. So today children, we are going to study chapter number 7, Glimpses of India. First part, it's divided into three parts. Today we'll be going ahead with first part, that is Bakers of Goa by Lucio Rodriguez. Fine. So before unfolding the story, we'll just have a look on the new words or the difficult words. Fine. First word is actually reminiscing nostalgically. That means thinking fondly of the past. Second, heralding, announcing. Third, plump physique, that is pleasantly fat body. Open testimony, public statement about a character or quality. Rebuke, an expression of anger, disapproval, scolding. And fragrance, you all know the fresh appealing scent. Fragrance is the pleasant, you can say, smell. When we talk about smell consists of the negative, you can say, signifying or actually prompting towards the negative, negative blend, okay, pointing towards a negative notification. But when it is positive, when it is pleasant, it becomes fragrance. When it is stale or it is pungent, it becomes smell. Fine. So, children, before moving ahead, let's at least have a reading. Let's have a single glance on what this story tells and who is telling about the basic essence, the basic ethic of this chapter. So, before starting ahead, we have some questions that may actually give you a hint about each and everything. What images of people and places? This question is somewhat related to what I have asked you before, just in the starting of the chapter, that what images of people and places come to your mind when you think of your country. And this is the, you may know that apart from the British, the Dutch and the French, the Portuguese also played a part of history in our country. Now this, you all are, you can say, prevalently conversant that the Indian history is a blend of different kind of cultures as well as traditions. When we talk about Indian history, is not taking much time. When we talk about Indian history, the French, the Dutch, the, you can say, the Portuguese, and the people from Yemen, the South Asia, Middle East, every person has left a mark of culture as well as tradition for in our country. Somewhat we might not have adopted, or you can say adapted, those cultures, but still they play a particular, you can say, they play a remarkable as well as significant role in our lives in present day also. It is not necessary that we have actually adopted them, or we have become very much conversant as well as familiar and very much accustomed to those traditions. No, but still they play an important part of the society till date. When we talk about a baker from the Goa, this is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in the society. So let's start up with the reading portion. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. We still have amongst them the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. Those age old time tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. The thud and jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as padar in Goa. Taking a halt, children, what is this word over here that in the second line, that the traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. Now, his arrival, no as such specification has been given over here. His arrival. Who is he over here, children? He is the baker, a Goan baker. Okay, he over here is the Goan baker. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as padar in Goa. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion, and guide. He used to come at least twice a day. Once, when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket, the jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so, children? Why was it for the love of the Was it for the love for the loaf or for the baker? Not at all. The loaves were brought by some Pasquin or Bastien, the maidservant of the house. What we longed for were those bread bangles which were chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. That is the love for bread. That is the love for bread was actually relished and cherished by the small children. The author, that is Lucio Rodriguez, actually declares that the children are, he is declaring as well as disclosing the fact that the children in Goa and to an extent loved to see the baker as well as the bread. That bread was at times of various flavors and kinds. And that craze to have that yummylicious bread was totally scintillating, or you can say it was an object of excitement for the children. Okay, children. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with jung jung sound of a specially made bamboo staff. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke and loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush, and who is going to brush their teeth or wash our mouths? Who will take the trouble? And what was the trouble? To take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for brushing teeth. And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. Now, there is a concept of which the author is declaring that he as a child, he as a kid, he did not bother to wash his mouth or either his mouth or brush his teeth. Now, while there is a small question, by what means did the author brush his teeth? The mango leaf. Okay, nowadays if you talk about brushing the teeth, we all brush our teeth with toothbrush as with a toothpaste paste as well as a toothbrush. But when we talk about the ancient times, people preferred the bark of various trees as well as leaves, which made their teeth healthy and without any germs and bacteria or cavities. Fine, children. So, next, and what he says that hot tea could wash each and everything. After washing the teeth, what was not actually nice or bad is that they wanted to gallop. That gallop means they wanted to eat that loaf of bread in the, you can say, the most delicious as well as the most awe mouth watering way, the way they could actually relish and rejoice the taste of the loaves of bread. And when I'm actually explaining you to the in context of loaves of bread, it is in means that they are going to have or digest or gallop the whole loaf of the bread. Obviously, then those loaves were divided accordingly for the children. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl. Just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread, not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolognese are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. The baker or the bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which was shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Even today, anyone who wears half pant which reaches just below the knee invites the comment that he is dressed as a padder. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Even today, any person with jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So, children, let's take a halt for here. This was the reading session. After reading this chapter, what do you analyze? What do you conclude with this chapter? Can anyone tell? I'll just give you 2 minutes, just think for it. So, children, starting with the discussion of the chapter, that what did we read and what did we understand. First point, bakers of Goa are known as padder. In old Portuguese days, the people of Goa ate loaves of bread. Now these loaves have disappeared, but the makers are still there. The furnace, the importance of furnace, that is, it still exists there. The sound of traditional bakers, the bamboo are still heard. Some of the family still carries this. That is, some of the people, some of the, you can say, inheritance, some of the people belonging to the baker's family still continue the business of baking, or as you know, they are called as padders. This work of baking is still going on in Goa today. When we talk about the arrival of the baker used to be the author's friend and guide. He used to come twice a day. The sound of his bamboo wok, actually, this, you can say, the way the baker used to walk with the bamboo stick actually woke up the children, and they rejoiced the baker's entry or arrival, and they made the, you can say, the most excited arrival. They were pleased, they were actually welcomed with the most excited gesture from the children. Next point is delivering the loaves. That you all know how there is a specification that when the baker used to come, he used to make a jing jang voice through his bamboo stick or bamboo staff, whatever he used to have, and he carried the loaves of bread in one hand, and in the other he used to have that particular, you can say, device, or the bamboo stick, or the bamboo, you can say, casket, which, not basket, children, casket. It is just like a you can say, a horizontal vertical combination of a stand like position on which he could place his loaves of bread. When importance of bread, the baker was very important to everyone. He was the you can say, his arrival, if you can judge and analyze, that the arrival of the baker is so pleasant, is so enterprising, that each and every person, each and every child, each and every single person of the village actually pleased them, actually, you can say, received them with a big bang smile as well as happiness. So the importance of the bread and the significance of the bread was totally or blending. Marriage gifts were meaningless without the sweet bread. Sandwiches, cakes, bolinas, etc. Were made with bread, and they were the main, you can say, the main spark of the festivals, main life of the festivals. Without that, it was not possible to carry or not carry to actually enjoy the festivals. Okay, now the baker's dress. And the baker's dress were actually, that they used to wear half, uh, it was known as kabai. First of all, it was known as kabai, and it was a single long frock. It reached down the knees. It is similar to half pants today. Now, don't assume that the baker wore the that particular one piece only. No, he wore a half pant, he wore a shirt, and on that he draped that particular long one piece, one long frock. You can call it as an apron also. Okay, children, don't take your imagination to the another world. He wore a, you can say, short sleeved shirt, half pants, and over that they used to wear an apron like dress which was called as long frock or a kabai, which was actually like a long frock which was called as kabai. Now, Baker, a happy family. This, the author says that they were happy because they used to collect, the bakers used to collect their bills at the end of the month. He used to visit twice a day. He was a profitable person. Everyone enjoyed, everyone who belonged or who was in connection with the Baker family was happy as well as prosperous. They were never actually seen to be poor. That's it, children. For now, that's it. Thank you, Saira, and have a great day ahead.